Hey, what's up? Hello. So, on my last episode, I talked about like my journey in bodybuilding, the mental health crisis that I went through. And one thing that I think bodybuilding did for me is it built me up and gave me the skills to like monitor my nutrition, have a strategy in the gym, know how to build the body that I wanted. But even after I got my bipolar diagnosis and felt so much shame, like that bodybuilding was like ingrained into me. And it was the strategy that got me out of a hellhole of just feeling terrible about myself and feeling broken. And like I mentioned, if I was going to feel broken and unworthy on the inside, I was going to build the body of a warrior on the outside. So even if I felt devastated and bad about myself, when I looked in the mirror and when other people looked at me, they would see this insane armor of a physique and know that there was something like special about me from a soul level. But, I turned pro in 2017. I was 21 years old, and for the majority of my 20s, I just continued to only identify as a bodybuilder. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, and how like in fitness, it rewards extreme identities and like being really good at one thing. But something I realized just last year is that, I'm an athlete. I'm not just a bodybuilder. Like I am a well-rounded individual, but I continued to just behave and identify and wear the hat of a bodybuilder. And it was only until I met this client and he came in and he was like, "Oh, I'm studying for the bar exam. I'm on a men's hockey league team. I want to sign up for nutrition and personal training with you. I'm also a DJ and I do Muay Thai." And I was like, wow, a person can do all of that? Like I was so inspired by him. And he was just like a super nice, regular guy who just like had a lot going on. And I just had so much respect for him. And I was just like, I want to do that. I want to be that kind of dynamic hybrid athlete who's just having fun. And so I signed up for Muay Thai with his coach at the time at a place here in Vegas called Syndicate MMA, which is where like a lot of professional fighters train. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'd like to just walk into the lion's den and die a little bit. And that was great. My coach was great. It was affordable. He was like $50 an hour. And I was like, I can do that once a week. It's not too expensive. I just needed to work it around my schedule. That guy that I was training with had kind of like his schedule is all over the place, so it's hard for me to be consistent on one day and one time. And at Fit Club, which is where I train here in Vegas, they have like bags, they have coaches for boxing. And when I went in there one day, I was like, I just started taking Muay Thai. They're like, "Oh, Brian teaches Muay Thai. You should talk to him." And I was like, yeah, I'll book a session with him. Like, it'd be nice just to like learn Muay Thai from another coach. And I really liked Brian's approach. He was trying to keep me safe. I have a lot of autoimmune issues. So when I was training with this other guy at Syndicate, my shins would just get so bruised from the checking, which is where they like kick you in the shins and you block it with your shin, or it's a lot of shin to shin contact. And in soccer, like I'm not scared of shin contact, but we had shin guards. And for the majority of those first few weeks of training Muay Thai, I didn't have shin guards. So I was just getting beat up. And as much as like the pain doesn't really bother me and I wear the bruises as like a badge of honor, I just knew it wasn't going to be sustainable for me if I wanted to keep going, because like the healing time was substantial because my body just is a little bit slower. I can adapt to like muscular training and like recover from hard workouts, but like the actual impact of big bruises and swelling, like it just takes a while for my body to fully clear it and get back to normal. So I started committing to training with this guy, Brian, at Fit Club, and I could see him every Sunday at 11 in the morning. He broke things down for me. He explained them. He did not want to put me in danger. He really implored the importance of getting the girls strong and know some self-defense, which like really spoke to my soul and the reason that I'm doing it. Like I have a lot of trauma. I have a lot of trauma from relationships, being taken advantage of. Like being an attractive woman is not all it's cracked up to be. Like imagine getting hit on by grown-ass men when you're 14 years old because they think that you're just a mature woman, but you're a little girl. It's disgusting. And the older I got, the more vulnerable I felt. And as much as I wanted to like be sexy and hot and like use that as a superpower, the older I got, the more I was like, this is actually a danger to me. So that's why I wanted to start Muay Thai. I was like, I'm a badass. Like, I loved aggression in sports. Like, if you know me in soccer, like, I'm coming for blood. There's only 3 refs on a field in soccer, and they're not going to see all the shit that actually goes down. So I love that. But in bodybuilding, like, I'm my own biggest competition, and I'm the one beating myself up. But I missed, like, the one-on-one, the competitiveness, the greater of the 2 athletes are going to be the last one standing, or the one getting the goal, or beating you down the line. So Muay Thai was like really great for that. But I realized I was really bad at it. Like, I'm pretty built like abs and legs wise, and I think that's probably from soccer. And I always like to tell people, like, the sport that you play growing up really makes a huge impact on the body that you're going to walk around in into your adulthood, and like how you put on muscle, just like that intelligence in your muscles stays with you. And it's just super important. Like, I really look up to like gymnasts. I think that they have some of the best physiques ever. They know how to handle their body weight. They can do all this flips and shit. They're super jacked. They're little spitfires. But when I started Muay Thai, I was like, holy shit, the cardio that's involved. I remember going into my first class and I had to jump rope for 3 minutes. And I got through the first minute and I was like, am I done? He's like, you got 2 minutes left. And I was like, Jesus, this is the warm up? And then I proceeded to get my ass beat and walk away with injuries. And I was like, great. I'm awesome. But I just felt so empowered just by the fact that I was doing something new. I remember being so nervous about going to my first class, going to the MMA studio, because I was like, this is where all like the real fighters train. I'm a beginner, but just doing it made me feel so proud of myself. And I was just like hooked from the moment I took my first class. But I just realized how much more fit I needed to become. And doing these 30 minutes of incline walking as a bodybuilder was just not cutting it. And I still recommend 30 minutes of incline walking to anybody that like wants to lose fat, doesn't want to have a bunch of shit to recover from. It's very easy on your nervous system. Like, you can be half asleep. You're getting to your heart rate to that sweet spot of like 130 beats per minute, which is really great for losing fat. And it's not going to take away from your lifts, like, because you're going to recover pretty easily. But as much as it kept me like in shape, I realized that I just wasn't as fit as I thought I was. I just looked fit, but I wasn't actually fit. So that started the new obsession of jump rope. So I had Muay Thai and jump rope and bodybuilding. And I was like, wow, I'm becoming like a more well-rounded individual. And this is like July 2025. And I've continued to do Muay Thai once a week ever since my first class, sometimes twice a week, depending if I was seeing both of those coaches, or if I missed a session, I'd double up the next week. But I've also started jump roping, and that was really helping my cardio. And so I was like, okay, well, I don't really like feel bad about my physique, so I don't really like need to lose fat in my mind, but I want to get fitter. So then I could go into these Muay Thai sessions and not be wheezing. I wouldn't have to be like, I need a break, because that made me feel bad. I wanted to be able to be the athlete that I thought I was in my head. And not perform like shit. And I can go full feral, like all out power, but that might be for 30 seconds before I'm like, hey, doing terrible. So I started doing weighted vest Stairmaster training, because in my mind, I was like, okay, if I'm doing Muay Thai and jump rope and my heart rate is averaging 170 beats per minute when I'm in the middle of training, I need to be doing something else that helps me maintain that higher heart rate in these classes or in the jump rope session. So the Stairmaster was great, but I was pretty good at the Stairmaster. So I got this 12-pound weighted vest, not that heavy, but heavy enough to increase the intensity and get a little bit more power in each step. And now I've gone up to a 20-pound vest, which is still pretty doable, but definitely gets my heart rate higher. And as you acclimate to something that's difficult, like a certain speed or a certain resistance, like the weighted vest, you just need to keep beating yourself. You know, you got to up the ante a little bit as you get fitter. So now I'm obsessed with jump rope. I'm doing the Muay Thai. I'm doing weighted vest training. I was also like, okay, I want to do calisthenics. Like I had been flirting with pull-ups, trying to get 10. I was stuck at like 5 to 7 for a few months. And I was just really enjoying this new identity of who I was becoming. And I just realized, like, for so many years, I was an IFBB pro. And so in any room that I stepped into, I needed to be really good at being the bodybuilder, like the bodybuilder. I needed to look the part. I needed to train the part. I needed to like feel that way about myself. But because I have all these health issues like Hashimoto's, gut problems, tanked hormones, mental health shit, I never really felt like I was going to be in a position to put myself into a competition. But I continued to just be a bodybuilder. Like that was it. But before bodybuilding, I was a soccer player. I was a tennis player. I was a basketball player. Like I had all these other sports. So when I started Muay Thai, it was like this spark of joy went off in my head. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much more out there. It was fun to be a beginner. It was fun to suck at something. Just doing the thing and like knowing that you're at the bottom of this hill was really empowering, because I was like, every single time I go to a Muay Thai class or I pick up the jump rope, there's so many more skills to learn. There's things to get better at. Bodybuilding has become super easy for me. I'm pretty jacked. I'm pretty damn strong. Mentally, it doesn't give me any anxiety to go to the gym. I'm just like, I'm here again. Da 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 da. But Muay Thai, I'm just like, there was like the little butterfly moment. And with the jump rope, I would just be getting welts on my back and on my butt from smacking my shit because I was holding the rope too far away. I was not flicking my wrists fast enough. And it went from just like trying to get the boxer step to doing the heel toe touches, like the little dancing in place. Then it was crosses. Then it was double unders. Then it was consecutive double unders. Now it's a behind the back move and some side swipes, and putting them all together and being like, oh my God, this looks awesome. And then when you dub it with a little bit of music, I'm like, this is a masterpiece. Like I'm having so much fun when I'm doing the jump rope, but then making it into a video, I'm like, this is inspiring me. I like want to watch it all over again. So I loved being able to share it on social media, like this little jump rope progress, the Muay Thai progress. But then at the end of 2025, I started flirting with the idea of quitting weed, and I was turning 30, and I was like, you know, I think that there's just more out there. I'm really like enjoying the person I'm becoming. I'm feeling very empowered, very badass. I always wanted to be a badass with a good ass specifically. And now in January, and like we're halfway through February, here's what I've done. I've started running. We got jump rope and Muay Thai. We got bodybuilding. I've also started archery once a week, depending if I have the money and if I am energized enough to go do it. But I would say that archery is kind of like golf. Like you don't need to like be giving a lot of muscle to it. You just need to be focused and calm enough to like breathe and not grip the bow too hard. And you got to pull back the string to the corner of your mouth and release it, not in a weird way. A lot of times my arrows will like zigzag or go low or something because I don't release properly. So there's like little skills that I can get better at, and then you just get the target further and further away. So I'm still in the beginning stages of that, but like seeing the videos of me doing archery, I'm like, this is really getting to be kind of cool. I've also started skateboarding. Like I used to skateboard when I was younger. So my friend is a professional skateboarder, and I was like asking him what kind of board I could get just for like cruising around. I want to get outside more. Like I got my run once a week, but that's like really the only time that I'm outside for a substantial period of time. And running used to be that thing that I was like, oh, I don't do that. Like I'm allergic to running. I would tell everybody that I'm allergic to running because I had all these old soccer injuries. Like my knees kind of bum on my left side. I hurt my ankles. I got like the shin splint situation. But when somebody would tell me that they're a runner, I'd be like, mad respect. Like that is a different kind of discipline and hard work that like I I don't want to be involved in. But then my friend Camille was like, let's do high rocks. I think high rocks is not for me because I don't like to do anything that's trendy. But I was like, I'll buy a pair of running shoes and try and run a mile. And maybe that'll help me play soccer again in the future. Because I need to be able to run for 90 minutes, stop and go, sprints, walking a little bit, but running continuously on a grass field. So when I did my first run, I was so emotional after because I was like, this was so hard. This was like a hard no in my brain for so many years that I just didn't think I could do it. And then right out the gate on my first run, I took myself to a park and I ran 3.15 miles. And it felt good. And like my body felt good. And it was like a little bit of soreness the next day, but nothing like that was out of control for me. My knee didn't hurt. It was just mostly like the tibialis muscle. So like the front of my calves was really tight. And then the next week I ran 5 miles, a little over 5 miles. And then the next week I ran a little over 6 miles. So now I'm almost 4 weeks into my running phenomena, and I've increased my mileage every single time. And if I'm not running or I'm too tired, like I can do archery or skateboarding. When I was younger and I used to skateboard, I just kind of cruised around. I'd bomb down hills, but I was always too scared to try tricks. I was like a little sensitive girly, but I admired these guys across the street that were really into skateboarding. I definitely was into skateboarding culture, very alternative, alt girl. But now that I have this friend who like professionally skateboards and he's a bodybuilder now and teaches surfing, and he's my friend that I met in the gym down in Ventura, he was like giving me suggestions on what board to buy so I could cruise around. And now he's going to come visit Vegas. And I was like, bring your board, teach me some tricks. Like, I'm ready to die. I'm prepared. I'll do it on grass first if I have to. That could be controversial, but like, I just want to make sure I don't die. I'll buy pads. I'll do whatever I need to so I don't break a bone. But I just feel like that's going to be empowering too. And then I've restarted my business. So it's no longer just like Alexa Berg Fit. I've trademarked the name Bodyssey, which is like body plus odyssey. Odyssey means like a journey, like an epic journey. And everybody talks about their fitness journey. And I like literally hired a lawyer, looked into it, made sure nobody else was using it in the category that I wanted. And I just got the letter like this week that Bodyssey is now mine. And I've been trying to build out a school to teach people about fitness and nutrition and like a way to think about their identity and building their body and being empowered, because just being a personal trainer and like selling nutrition plans is like everybody's doing that. And also like this economy is shit. So people are like, well, that's a luxury. I don't want to do that. So I was like, okay, if I write everything down and make it an affordable price point, will people come? Especially if it's like a self-guided process. Like I'm trying to write everything down so you don't need me. You just follow the chapters just like you would in a school. And then there's like, you know, quizzes or homework and things that you can do to reflect. And then you like go up in tiers. So my friend who's a realtor had an assistant. And so she's been helping me with all the technical back end of like actually building this as a tangible school. So I have that going on. And then I've started this podcast. Like I've wanted to start a podcast since I was in college. And I thought of the name Alex in Wonderland because in my mental health journey was like, you know, a magical Wonderland type place. And I wanted this podcast to be a place where I could talk about mental health. I could talk about fitness. I could talk about philosophy. Like a big part of why I am so motivated and grounded and disciplined is because I have such a clear idea of who I am as a person and where I'm going. My heart is literally on fire, and I believe in myself so deeply because of all the shit that I've been through, and I continue to show up for myself and pull myself out of the hole and keep trying new things. I am at baseline extremely full of joy. And I think like just being a bodybuilder like ultimately made me fragile at the end of the day, because like I just felt that like I was at the ceiling of how strong I could get. And now that I'm doing all of these other sports, I have the spark of joy back. I believe in myself more than ever before. My confidence is on fire. And I'm just a beginner. Like I'm not pretending to be good at all of these things. I am just doing these things. And that's where the the self-belief is coming online. Is that like, I'm not pretending to be the expert. In bodybuilding, I like had to identify as the expert. And social media and the fitness culture rewards people that have a very clear niche, a very extreme identity in fitness. But the thing that actually like inspired me and other people were those hybrid athletes, people that could do everything and anything. Being a hybrid athlete, being well-rounded, having more play instead of just trying to optimize one category of fitness will ultimately, like, they're all going to marry themselves. Like, archery teaches me focus and calm. Skateboarding teaches me flow. Running teaches me endurance and discipline and mindset. Muay Thai teaches me humility. And like, you could get knocked out if you suck. Bodybuilding is like my grounding force for what built me. And I started playing soccer again. Like, that was the other thing I didn't even mention. Like, I took the ball out, pumped up the ball, started juggling, passing against a wall, and time went by. It was like sunset, and I'm like, I need to do this more often. The place that I went to go play soccer didn't have nets or goals, so that's my next journey, is like to seek out a field here in Vegas that I can actually shoot on goal, and then maybe buy a pair of cheap soccer cleats so I can feel the ball in the ground a little bit better. But like, all of these things are helping me do other parts of it. So like, by doing the running and the calisthenics and the weighted vest training, it's helping me in jump rope and Muay Thai. Jump rope and Muay Thai are helping me with like recall and like my brain body connection. So when I go and do something like soccer, my coordination is better. My endurance is already there, so actually practicing the sport is easier. Another thing that I haven't even mentioned is I went shooting at a gun range, and I'm in the process of trying to buy my first gun. And then I can go out to the desert and shoot with my friend who is like a badass, very well taught in guns and shooting. She used to be in the Israeli military, so she's just like complete badass. And she's gorgeous and just like wants to help the girlies get strong and protect themselves. And then I realized that by doing the archery first helped me with like squinting the one eye and like figuring out my sights properly and shooting at a distance, and not using too much muscle, but just believing in the materials that you have to shoot at a target. But everything is helping each other. And I'm just so excited with the person that I'm becoming and all the skills that I'm accruing. And as long as I'm consistent, I don't have to like beat a dead horse. So like bodybuilding, that's kind of how I felt like I was getting to that point where I've been doing this so long. Like, what's next? Like powerlifting, Olympic lifting, CrossFit? Do I just like do more of that? But I just needed to bring back more of the element of play and sports and curating the type of athlete that I wanted to be instead of the person that I thought I should be, that I was supposed to be, that I was rewarded with this professional status in this sport. And I was like, okay, this is who I'm going to be. I don't care. I want to be whoever I want to be. I want to have fun. And I have so many freaking hobbies. And I also just joined a book club. So I'm reading again. And currently we're reading a book called Women Who Run with Wolves. So it's like a feminist icon book. And it's like myths and stories and like very interesting to read. The words that she chooses, it's like poetic. It's speaking to my soul. And I feel like everything is meshing together in a really cute way. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I wanted to recommend that if there's anything that you've been really inspired to go do, but you were too scared at sucking at something or being a beginner, I would reframe that as like, you don't need to be the best. You're going to get the dopamine hit from just doing it at all, from just starting. And then you're going to get a little bit more resilient, a little bit more tenacious, a little bit more obsessive, fixate on it, that you're going to get good. It's going to take some time, but you're going to get there. Like, if I think about how I was jump roping in like July It was pretty shitty. I could do it, but it didn't like look like expert level. Now I know so many freaking tricks that like I'm amazed by how it looks on camera. That's the other thing that I would say is like you could feel like a baby on ice doing something, but if you record it, this is what I recommend for my clients as well, is like take videos of yourself training and then send it to me and I'll help like diagnose what's going on and make you a better athlete. Like you just need another set of eyes to tell you like, hey, that looks good. You can go up and weight, or let's work on these little mechanical things. Like let's practice a hold or a pause or a tempo to make it better. So then no haters are going to say shit to you. Like, I want you to be like, oh, I feel really good in how I train. I'm not embarrassed. So for me, when it comes to like videotaping Muay Thai or jump rope or shooting or archery or soccer, I don't need to be the best. I don't need to be exceptional at this. But finding that little clip of where you did something well, you can look at that and be like, that didn't look so bad. Maybe it felt bad in your body. Maybe your inner critic is fixating on all the things that you did wrong. But if you can just highlight that part that you did well and you can review that, it's going to give you that empowerment that you're looking for to go and do it again. And eventually, like the footage that you look at is going to be majority good instead of majority bad. And it's because you were analyzing, picking out the things that you could do better, and then you take another video. And then you keep doing that until you like what you see. So go fuck around and find out. Try some new sports. Engage in some element of play. Don't get stuck into one identity in fitness. And go and have some fun. Like, your body should not be prison. You shouldn't feel stuck in it. You shouldn't feel like, oh, I have to go work off this food that I ate. I will say that from doing all of these sports, I have to eat more calories. So I'm eating like 2,500 calories and I'm jacked and lean and feel amazing. Like, this is amazing. This is so much fun. So get out there, have some fun, and let me know if you end up trying anything new. I would love to hear you try and inspire me to do another hobby. Ta-ta for now.